Hello my fellow Keyblade builders and welcome back to another video. I am the Kingdom Key, and in today's video for you I kind of want to go over the story of Xehanort, starting before Kingdom Hearts Dark Road and then leaning into Kingdom Hearts Dark Road. And if you guys like that, I may continue just explaining the overall story of Xehanort and who Xehanort is. So I thought this can help because I know a lot of people didn't want to play the mobile game, didn't play the mobile games, and Dark Road was a really important mobile game to understand. But there's also people who didn't play, Kingdom Hearts Union Cross. So we're gonna just go through and explain that. So we're gonna be starting before Kingdom Hearts Dark Road. So here we go. He was referred to in a prophecy by Luciu, who knew that one day a chosen one who will reenact the Keyblade War will appear. In the cycle of bequeathing the no-name Keyblade would go through. Xehanort was born in Scala at Caelum and was a descendant of Ephema, the town's founder. Xehanort was believed by the residents of Scala at Caelum to be prophesied child of destiny that would one day save their entire world from darkness and ultimately overwrite the grim future recorded on the final page of the Book of Prophecies. To this end, an infant Xehanort was seen being held by an unknown woman before she gives him away to a cloaked figure. The figure brought Xehanort to Destiny Islands, where he was raised in order to be protected from the darkness until the time he was ready to journey throughout the world. Xehanort, while missing his mother, cared greatly about the cloaked figure, eventually seeing them as a mentor. The mentor raised Xehanort in the seaside shack on the island and taught him about darkness and light, constantly referring to Xehanort as the child of destiny, and how he would be able to connect his hearts with others. Xehanort could sense the memories, thoughts and emotions that were contained within his mentor's heart from their previous life. Being able to see their former friends and battles they partook in throughout many worlds, and often had dreams centered around these individuals and events. However, by the time Xehanort aged into a young teenager, his mentor passed away, leaving Xehanort alone on the island. Though he would go on to remember his mentor and many of their teachings for years to come. By this point in time, Xehanort had largely forgotten about his earlier life and sought to leave the islands, viewing them as small and uneventful, in order to see the greater world beyond, largely due to the continued reoccurring dreams that gave him glimpses of the worlds and individuals he had never seen or met before. Now we're getting into the point of explaining the events of Xehanort's life throughout Kingdom Hearts Dark Road. Shortly after the death of his mentor, Xehanort was paid a visit by his future self, his heartless Ansem, offering Xehanort passage out of Destiny Islands to seek the answers to the dreams he kept having. Xehanort accepted and left through a dark corridor. Through his name, he was forgotten over time. Xehanort's exploit of managing to leave Destiny Islands would be remembered for years. While traveling through the dark corridor, Xehanort experienced his first encounter with darkness, extreme negative emotions that began to overwhelm and attach to his heart. Despite the horrifying and overpowering nature of darkness, Xehanort was greatly fascinated by it and took some level of comfort in it. His heart capacity continued to feel emotion, as re-encountered in his reports years later. Xehanort believed even at this point that darkness could be channeled and even controlled by a strong enough heart. The dark corridor eventually dropped Xehanort at Scala at Caelum, where he was taken in by Keyblade Master Odin, who saw great potential in him, becoming his 7th apprentice, alongside Eriquus, Braig, Vor, Urid, Hermod, and Balder. I'm sorry for the pronunciations, I'm really bad at these, but most of these are Nordic names apart from, I think one of them, but yeah, here we go. During the course of his training, Xehanort eventually came to see his fellow pupil Ericus as a brother. The two often spent their time playing chess between training. The master taught Xehanort and his fellow classmates the ways of the Keyblade, and that their role as Keyblade wielders was to protect the worlds of light from darkness. However, this answer was unsatisfactory to Xehanort, and he often visited other worlds without permission to learn more initially. Xehanort wore his Keyblade armor during his travels to protect himself from darkness between worlds. One day, Master Odin informed everyone that the upperclassmen of Keyblade wielders had gone missing, and that his apprentices were to split into two groups to search the worlds. Xehanort traveled to Agrabah, realizing that the world was still being reborn from the destruction of the Keyblade War. As no humans were in the world, Xehanort visited Wonderland, but left pondering if slaying those controlled by darkness is also necessary to protect the world. And in the Dwarven woodlands, Xehanort finds one of the wielders, Vida, who is embarking on a mission of his own. Returning back to Scala at Caelum, Xehanort and his classmates contemplate what to do next. Xehanort and Ericus argue over the morality of Veda's plans, with Ericus believing he has lost his path, while Xehanort believes that not everything is so black and white. Upon arriving in Agrabah, Jafar attempts to manipulate them into retrieving the magic lamp for him from the Cave of Wonders. Upon investigating the cave, the group run into Ericus and Brake. The group submisses that the upperclassmen are after artifacts crucial to the order of each world, and the magic lamp is one such item. Vida and Vor arrive and reveal that they are stealing the artifacts to upset the world order in hopes of identifying pure light that surfaces from the ensuing chaos. Returning to Scala at Caelum and discuss their findings with Odin, Odin informs them that Vida is attempting to locate 7 pure lights and 13 darknesses, in an effort to summon Kingdom Hearts and purge all worlds of true darkness, the source of all darkness and the main instigators of the ancient Keyblade War. Believing that this is beyond the scope of the wielder's abilities, Odin asks them to cease their mission. In truth, Odin had actually manipulated Vida to begin his mission to summon Kingdom Hearts, believing that this would facilitate the rise of prophesied Seeker of Darkness. Refusing to simply give up on the classmates, meet outside to discuss their next move. During the discussion, Boulder showed up and reveals the death of the upperclassman, revealing that he stumbled upon a world that contains an underworld of lost spirits. Boulder directs the group to search Olympus Colosseum. In an attempt to make contact with the spirits of the slain, wielders travel to this world to group encounters with Hades, and they are transported to the Underworld. Once there, Xehanort, Ericus, and Brake encounter and fight Cerberus, only to be saved by Boulder. Upon escaping, Xehanort begins to suspect that something simply isn't adding up, but does not let Ericus know his suspicions on Boulder just yet. Xehanort and Ericus encounter the souls of the 4 slain upperclassmen, who reveal their suspicions that something much more sinister was responsible for their death. Pulling strings from behind the scenes, imploring for Xehanort and Ericus to find the truth, the 4 classmen finally depart when Xehanort's Ericus, Yrd, and Harmon run into Hades again. He attempts to make them permanent residents of the Underworld, until a dark corridor suddenly opens and sucks the wielders in. Within the corridor, Yrd and Hermod are suddenly slain by a figure cloaked in darkness. Xehanort and Ericus almost fall victim to the same figure, until Odin appears and rescues the pair, bringing them back to Scala at Caelum. Scala at Caelum is then suddenly attacked by the forces of darkness. While Odin leaves to deal with the threat, Xehanort reveals that he suspects that Boulder had been corrupted by darkness, following the death of his sister, and is now picking off their fellow classmen. Boulder appears possessed by darkness, and by the time Xehanort and Ericus arrive at the tower, they are too late and witness Boulder unleash a Heartless to murder Vader, Vil, Valar, and Vor. Terrifyingly saying goodbye to Vor, Xehanort and Ericus confront Boulder at the top of the tower, who reveals his true plans. The darkness controlling Boulder was manipulating Vader to summon Kingdom Hearts so it may re-instruct the world towards its own designs. While Xehanort is finally able to gain the upper hand on Boulder, the darkness clouds Xehanort's mind, revealing to him that it's not one of the ancient darknesses, but a new variant, formed from the wielders, revealing that that darkness has been able to grow in this manner through others, and that Xehanort himself would be a worthy vessel. The darkness is then shocked to find Boulder's sister's heart has taken residence inside Xehanort. In an attempt to get her brother free, while Boulder is temporarily restored to his senses and restrained by Odin, Boulder reveals that he felt destined to darkness with so many light-obsessed wielders by his side. The darkness eventually overtakes him once again and snuffs out the remaining light of his sister's spirit. Xehanort, rather than purge the darkness from Boulder, slays him to end the conflict for good, leaving Xehanort and Ericus as the only students left alive. Over the next month, Xehanort and Ericus often visited the graves of their fallen comrades and friends. Eventually reconnecting again, Xehanort and Ericus resolve to continue their training and become Keyblade Masters, with Odin preparing to conduct their Mark of Mastery exams in the next several years. 4 years later, the time finally drew near, when both Xehanort and Ericus would take their Mark of Mastery exam. To prepare for the exam, Xehanort was tasked to tour the various worlds to broaden his horizons. By this point in time, Xehanort had come to see the power of darkness as a necessity to wield if he were to be seen as an equal to Ericus. Before leaving, Xehanort visited the graves of his fallen comrades once more. Ericus arrives and reminds him that their demise wasn't his fault. As Xehanort reveals his planned departure, Ericus tells him to be back before the exam. This trip took Xehanort to Wonderland, where time had barely passed since his first visit. Still seeing the Queen of Hearts being influenced by darkness, Xehanort willingly approached her. As Xehanort continued his tour of the worlds, he once again comes into contact with his Heartless, Ansem, who grants him the power to traverse time and tasks him with gathering 12 other incarnations of himself from across time, to form the real Organization 13 for his future self's final plans, to obtain the power of Kingdom Hearts after carrying out his duties in the future as young Xehanort. The youth eventually returns to his proper place in time, and while the rules of time travel prevent him from keeping his memories of his travels, the experience he gained were engraved in his heart, and would act as subconscious guidance for himself in the years to come. Eventually, Xehanort attempted to overcome the darkness and control it in order to wield its power. To this end, Xehanort entered a corridor of darkness and forewent his armor, and allowed darkness to seep into his heart. However, this eventually overwhelmed Xehanort, and he passed out, only to be saved by the Master of Masters. The Master took Xehanort to the Badlands, where he gave him a black coat to use as an alternative method to ward off darkness, and better observe the nature of the worlds, asking him to take a look at the hearts of others, specifically as he continued his world tour. After seeing the darkness hidden within the world, Xehanort became disillusioned with the false light of the world that concealed the dark, and decided to do what he could to change it. Unaware that he was being driven by a subconscious memory of the future, despite wishing to use the black coat, Xehanort was told by the Master that if he possessed true strength, darkness would pose no threat to him. The Master then departed after revealing his true name to Xehanort. True to the Master's belief, Xehanort abandoned both his original Keyblade armor and the black coat, after feeling the darkness's power in the lanes between through his lack of fear of the darkness. Xehanort gained great power, finally completing his tour, and with newfound purpose and ambitions, Xehanort returned to Scala at Caelum and stated his beliefs to Ericus, that the world needed to be restructured and that it would take several lifetimes, wishing to extend his life to recreate the world and then experience it himself. Eventually both Ericus and Xehanort passed their exams and became Keyblade Masters, and Ericus was chosen as the Master's successor of Scala at Caelum and given the Master's Deventer. Xehanort was chosen to inherit the no-name. The newly titled Master Xehanort was free to take on apprentices of his own to train and travel the worlds freely. Xehanort decided to dedicate the remainder of his life to studying the Keyblade War and Kingdom Hearts in an effort to summon it once more in order to purge the worlds and remake them. This caused friction with Ericus, who attempted to stop Xehanort while he was leaving Scala. Though the exact contents of the fight are unknown, Xehanort succeeded in leaving Scala and journeying throughout the worlds for years in pursuit of knowledge and future power. So there you all have it. That is the story of young Xehanort from the events before and events of Dark Road, and we even got that cutscene with the Master of Master and Xehanort, young Xehanort, at the beginning of Kingdom Hearts 3 Remind. I hope that you all enjoyed this video. It is a lore explanation and story explained video, so please do me a favor and leave a like. This took a lot out of me and will take a lot to edit and clip over sound because I did mess this up. For newcomers, I really hope this helped you, and for those who didn't get to play the mobile games or just wanted to listen to someone explain basically the cliff notes and story, so you don't have to do too much. But yeah, I'm sorry this video is kind of lengthy, but I hope that you all enjoyed. Please keep in mind I am dyslexic, so pronunciations and words may have got mixed up, but hope that you all can bear with me and let me know what you think down in the comment section below. Did you like this explanation? Did you enjoy it? I may ask some friends if I can use their content of footage for Dark Road, if they have any that I can use. But yeah, I hope that you all enjoyed the video. If you did, I'd really appreciate if you left a like and just left me a comment letting me know how I did. Did you enjoy this video? Does this clear this up? Is this good explanation for you? Please let me know. Also, if you're new to the channel, please feel free to subscribe. I'd really appreciate your support, and I hope you enjoyed today's video. And of course, please feel free to check out my channel. I make a lot of Kingdom Hearts content here, so please feel free to check it out. It's never lacking. Anyway, with that all being said, I hope that you guys all enjoyed today's video. I hope that you all have a great day. May your heart be your guiding key. Spread kindness, positivity, love, and all good vibes to everybody around you and to yourself, and forgive yourselves and make your life better and others around you. Just do the best that you can. Don't let people put unrealistic expectations on you. With that all being said, I'm the Kingdom Key. Hope that you all enjoyed today's video. And with that all being said, hope that you all have a great one, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Peace.